Hey, I'm live. It's lit. It's lit. I'm trying to find like the perfect angle. You know, all right, I guess we right here with it. I need like a stand or something because listen to me. Hey y'all, what's good? Like what? What's going on? What's going on? I posted a video yesterday about the Sibyls, Mami Wata, ancient priestesses, ancient oracles, just the real tea about what needs to be said, the real tea about what's been going on, the real tea about the tea. And it was a quick little video, so you guys should check it out if you are interested. I would just say, like, we've always heard black women, black people, we've always heard that we used to rule. We used to be the all, the beginning and the end. We used to be it all. When you actually come into contact with information that not only tweaks you on an emotional level, but tweaks you on a mental level, it's when like downloads really start to happen, It wow. So it was great for me. I watched a series of videos yesterday. If you guys are interested in watching those videos, just type in Sibbles on YouTube. Type in Mami Wata Sibbles, and you'll find an array of videos that um have a lot of information and photos of what our ancient mothers looked like and what they did. It talks about how the Catholic Roman Church and the Jews stole everything from our ancient Sibyl mothers, Mami Wata priestesses, and not only did they steal things, they burnt them, they tarnished them, and they like completely revamped them to make it seem like this information came from the Roman lineage. And while there were Sibyls in Rome and Italy, all over the East, that's something that we also don't speak about too when it comes to just Black. And I'm not even going to use the term Black anymore. Like, I'm really trying to get that out of my vocabulary. Brown people. We don't really hear about that when it comes to our brown people. It's like brown people are only in Africa, maybe in India and America. That's it. We were everywhere. We were everywhere. And over the past year, as I've been doing my research on this, it's been beautiful to hear this, but it's been even more beautiful to find the information out for myself and to see it for myself and to sit with it by myself. And I just wanted to go live today because I started thinking, I was like, yo, the divine feminine, she's rising. And it may not be in the best way. Like at the end of the day, we are not to judge what's to go on, but at the least, we can say that women are trying to take back their power, and they're taking back their power in different ways. And this is just the beginning. As I'm reading through these texts and looking that all this stuff happened before Christ, the Sibyls were prophesizing before Christ was even a thing, thousands of years before. Okay. Like thousands of years before. So I'm like, wow, like this has been going on for so long. The fact that the Sibyls were doing their thing, doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing. And the patriarchy came in, sold them as slaves, tarnished their work, enslaved them. And now we finally see women taking back our power, I would say, over the past few decades, in a sense. Um, but especially now, over the past few years, I would say. And the way that this is translating, it's outside of women holding more CEO positions and being more educated and all that. It's outside of all of that. It comes to a point where you have to look at how the patriarchy not only demonized women being spiritualists and oracles, they demonize everything having to do with a woman. They demonize our bodies, right? And you see a lot of women now, they're doing the BBLs. Now, listen, there's a whole bunch of information and opinions on this. I'm a believer of your body's beautiful, leave it alone, but people are going to do what they want to do. But when I look at it on the very baseline level, I believe it's stemming from a woman wanting to be in power again. Everyone takes their power differently. Okay, everyone wants to feel empowered in different ways. That's why I don't want to judge. But I know that on the basis of all lines, it's women taking their power back. And listen, if we are to go in that direction, we have to start somewhere. And I truly believe that all this is going to come full circle and be revamped in the way that it's supposed to be. We're only seeing the beginning, and the beginning is going to be messy. So that's just my honest truth about it. And that's basically like one of the biggest things I wanted to say. Like one of the biggest things I wanted to say is that the feminine, divine feminine is rising, right? We have the Vatican, the seat of the Vatican was the holy seat of the Sibyls, right? Where's the Vatican? Rome, Italy, somewhere over there. Listen, don't quote me. I'm not trying to be a teacher. I'm just trying to, send the message your way, and you could fact check that how you want to fact check it. But the Vatican, where we see the Pope sitting down, the Pope's holy seat is where the Sibyls used to be. So it's like you really get into line and you really see as a woman, as a brown, Nubian, melanated, golden woman, I'm over here like, what? Like, no way. And you just get reminded, I feel like we just get reminded that slavery's been a thing before skin color. It's been a thing. It's been a thing before skin color. First, the slavery movement wasn't about skin color. It started with sex, right? Male, female. And the greatest thing that I've learned or that I've seen when it comes to like me researching my history is the fact that like I got a download of like, wait, hold on. This history just seems too clean. This happened at this date, then this happened. Like, I don't think we like really acknowledge, at least I didn't acknowledge that this was thousands and thousands of years of happenings. And the way that it's been just so cleanly presented to us, like life was that clean. Like we see what's going on here now. Like imagine like and in 2020, a huge pandemic overtook the global sphere. And we're only just going to hear about that and tidbits of what happened, but we're not really going to hear about what happened, what we know, what we've seen. They're not going to talk about every news article, every interview, every all the information. No, you already know that his story has been very I would say very controlled and what's being said. So I feel like a lot of us need to like open up our minds to exactly what went on in those times, what they're not saying. As I was listening to Mama Zogbe and her interview, I really hope you guys check that out. As I was listening to her interview, and it's like an 8, 9-part interview, 10 minutes each. So like a good hour and a half you could just soak up. And I'm about to keep replaying. I think I already replayed it, all of them like twice already. Cause just to hear this knowledge. And the biggest thing she said, it was like, listen, the initiation into understanding who you are, it's not this like mental thing, right? Of course you learn your history, but then you allow the intuition, your ancestors to contribute to that and to guide you. But it's like the Western world, and I'm from the Western world, well, at least this lifetime. I was born in the West. That's all you get fed is just like this logical, like left brain, male dominant type of feeding of knowledge. And as a woman, I had to cut that out and get back into my own feminine energy. I feel like a lot of women are getting into their feminine energy. I hope, listen, and they're doing it in the physical sense. And I think eventually, as more and more information spreads, and as mother is taking back her seat, it's gonna translate spiritually and mentally to these women. You see a lot of women talk about soft life. Okay, you see it's been translating into the emotional sector already. Soft life. Women are here like, you know what? I'm not trying to work hard. I'm trying to chill. I'm trying to start my business. I want to get back into my creative pursuits. I'm not out here. You know what? Yeah, I'm not out here trying to fight no man. I'm not out here trying to take over the power that men should have. And I feel like a lot of us as women were being pushed into that, especially brown women, let's be honest. And we really can't be burned or get upset by it because that's also the path the world was forming for us. When it comes to taking our black men out of the homes and having so many brown women having to lead this single life with children. And what else do you expect? You know, of course, as women, melanated brown women, we're warriors inside. You know, melanated women were the first women to understand and to be born into freedom. Every other woman that's come after that has not been born into freedom, okay? Melanin women remember the time when the matriarchy was matriarching and when we was in freedom. I remember the time, even though I remember it deep down in my heart, in my gut, in my spirit. I remember those times too. And I just think it's just like so crazy. Like, what? It's just so crazy when you really sit back and think of it. I was talking to a friend the other day, and we were just talking about how important it is for women to get back into our just softness, like, you know, like as best as we can, as best as we can. So yeah, I just wanted to hit up a live real quick and just to spread some more knowledge and just to spread some opinions that I've had over this stuff and how I see that the divine feminine is rising. I'm not too keen on Hinduism, but I do know what this thing about like, the Kali Yuga. We're about to enter the Kali Yuga, and if there's one thing I know about Mother Kali, ego death straight. Like if Mother Kali don't play, what needs to go will go. Will go. Like there's no playing around. And it's just like you hear all about like what happened to women back in the days and all this stuff, and then you come back to your senses into this time period and you see the rise is starting to happen. You see the rise is starting to happen, and I'm just in shock, honestly. Like, I'm in shock. Like, you know, they talk about the souls who decided to come down during this time period to help humanity out. And I feel like a lot of us, especially a lot of spiritualists that's around right now, whether they're known on social media or not, because I don't even want to start talking about the social media spirituality. It makes you feel like you're like, yo, like a column, like a newspaper column, like you out here throwing your stuff at everybody talking about read all about it. Like there's no, I feel like everywhere I go, it's just so much spiritual stuff and like just it seems very forced. While there's a lot of great knowledge out there, and I think the spiritualists, I just feel like on a global scale, it seems very forced. And I do appreciate the people who have their community who are still doing this in privacy and who don't feel like their spirituality and their gifts have to be what's the word I'm looking for? Like that they don't have to be basically what I'm trying to say is I feel like a lot of people are acting like their spirituality is as accessible as like a supermarket, you know, like you need to produce and you need to, it just seems very, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? I would just say this, it seems very just robotic. It doesn't seem fluid. It seems robotic. It seems, and then we have like this content creation era. I have to get content out there. I don't know how these spiritualists are posting every single day. How in the world are you a spiritualist and you're producing content every single day? That scares me a little bit. especially as a woman, how you I get the discipline and the drive, but hey, listen, people gotta do what they gotta do, but sometimes that raises an eyebrow because 'cause I'm just like, spirituality is so much bigger than that, what I've been seeing, and I'm trying to untrain myself from what I've been seeing, like, I started my spirituality with this whole spiritual movement. I wouldn't even say I started it. It came to me. The world came to me through the stars. And that's how it all began for me. And I was going with the flow with the social media stuff. And then eventually I was like, nah, this is a little too toxic for me. I can't keep up. And I'm not trying to keep up. You know what I'm saying? So I just been on my own journey. And Spirit was like, all right, YouTube. And I was like, bet, YouTube. So oh, there we go. The word was like a capitalistic type of view or a capitalistic type of stance when it comes to something God given. Like it's just like you're just producing, like you're like NBC News, like every morning. Listen, I don't want to knock nobody's flow, but what y'all got? How what y'all got over there to be producing so much every single day? Like, geez, but that's the thing, right? And so as the divine feminine is rising, we see a whole bunch of but on the flip side of that, right? We got the tarot ladies, we got the oracle ladies, we got the astrology ladies. Yup, we're here. We're here. And your intuition can tell you the fakes from the real ones. At the end of the day, it's here. This form of life has been hidden for so long, tucked away. And the women are like, nah, we not doing it no more. So at the same time, while all you see on social media is spirituality, and you got to understand what messages for you, what's not for you, what pages to follow, what not to follow, when to be on social media, when not to be on social media. At the same time, I'm excited and happy to see that it's happening at least. Right? And in these trying times, this is when you really got to know self and know what's for you, what's not for you. But the conversation is being started. The age of Aquarius is not for like another 2,000 years, but we're shifting. We're shifting to it. So more knowledge is coming out. If it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't know half the things that I know now. But it got to a point where I had to release a lot of the stuff, like mentally throw out a lot of things that I was learning just from social media. But at the same time, like I said, I'm excited and I'm happy to see that this is happening. Conversations are being had, information is being spread. Like this is happening. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's a beautiful thing at the end of the day, right? I think it's a real beautiful thing. And I think it's important for us just to continue on, for all women to continue on and to do what you got to do. To do what you got to do. So that's why I say divine feminine, she's rising. She's rising. We see it. We see it. And we are in the physical world. And listen, we can't help how people decide to transcend and to understand certain things. But I will say this, that the authentic divine feminine has nothing to do with the physical. It's a spiritual thing. It's fully spiritual, fully emotional, fully mental, like I follow a YouTuber called Adunola the Oracle, and she spreads a lot of great information about African spirituality, African religious traditions. And I think you guys should follow her because she's taught me so much. And she recently put out a video, like as I was on my search for like this divine feminine stuff, this Mami Wata stuff, and just connecting with like the water, feminine water. She put out a video about Mami Wata, the water spirits, and I was like, wow, like how on point, like how on time. And then she went into further to post a video about the divine feminine Holy Spirit, and this is information that's still a bit new to me, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but she speaks about the divine feminine, the the female Holy Spirit, Ruach HaKodesh or Ruach HaKodesh. And I believe it's a Hebrew term for the feminine Holy Spirit. And it's also another term called the Shekinah. And I'll leave that up to you guys to do your research. The Ruach HaKodesh and the Shekinah, basically terms of the Holy Spirit, but the authentic, original, feminine version of it. And that's basically it. It's like flipping the information back to its originality. That's what it's about. It's not like that's really what it is. History was stolen, revamped, and not even in the best ways. And it seems like mother is really upset. So I feel like it's very important for me to get up on here and speak about what has been coming to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Mommy Wata. Shout out to the ancestors. Shout out to the marine world, to the water spirit. Shout out to Ezuli Freda, the homie. Shout outs to Rizuli Dantoa. Like, just shout outs to the divine feminine. Shout outs to Mary Magdalene. Shout outs to the feminine spirits, you know what I'm saying? Shout outs to the Holy Spirit. What you mean? Shout outs to the Ruach HaKodesh, man. I don't care. Shout outs to all of that. But shout outs to all the women here in the physical realm that's trying their hardest, doing their best. And a special shout outs to the woman who's really realizing, to the brown woman who's really realizing like where she comes from and who she is, because it's life changing. And I'm going through that right now, like just assimilating this information into me. And it really is like, it's like when you get to a point in your spiritual journey, and that's something I've been meditating on for like a few, maybe 1 or 2 years now, is like pick a side, pick a side. And here's the thing, when it comes to picking a side spiritually, it's not about which spiritual side. I mean, it gets to a point where it is okay. What spiritual side is always great to get down to the authentic, to get down to what your ancestors did, and so forth. But when you consider yourself a spiritualist, you're always on the spiritual side. This worldly stuff, that's what it really gets down to. When you find your authenticity and what you should be following and what you should be meditating on, you got to stay on that side. So picking a side can be so many different things. And what I've realized, I'm like, listen, I've been like hunting for the truth forever, forever, like for a few years now. And I'm like, oh, I found it. This is the truth. There's nothing more than just it was mother. It was mother, and it will continue to be mother. So I feel like I found my truth. And who knows? Who knows what may come through years and years to come. I feel like I'm fairly new to my awakening. Um, but yeah, like what else did it say? It's like when you consider yourself a spiritualist, it's like you gotta know what side you on. And it comes to a point where it's like the spiritual side versus the outer worldly thing. And of course, within yourself, you know how to bring those two worlds together, because we still are in the physical body, in the physical plane. But there's a lot of ways. There's ways of the world that many people are following, but as a spiritualist, you know that's not your path. So I feel like that's where I'm coming down to. When it comes to picking a side, know your side. I found my side. Mommy Water. I'm a melanated being, melanated woman. You feel me? So it's mother. It's divine feminine rising. It's all of that. Come on, it's all of that. Like women taking her feminine power back, and her feminine power. A lot of women feel like feminine power is going against the man. That's not it. It's not going against the man, but that's how society has set it up. That's how society has set it up. And it's not even like that. Feminine power is understanding your strength as a woman, your place as a woman. You know what I'm saying? Your power as a woman. So I feel like I'm gonna just leave that right there. And what else did it say? You know what I'm saying? If you're interested in booking a reading with me, Ashley Simone, the Oracle, hit me up at betweentheplanes.333 at gmail.com. If you want to tip me a little bit, my Cash App is Lacey, Leysi 777. And yeah, we here. We here. You see, like we got Christmas coming up. So the energies is energy, everybody stays safe. And we have this new year coming up, 2023. 2022 has been such a thing, and I'll probably put that in another video. But yeah, it's lit. Everybody stay lit. Know thyself, stay lit. Do what makes you feel happy at the end of the day. Just ensure that what makes you feel happy, that what makes you feel happy is not going against your spirit. You got to know your spirit. And I would say that's the best advice I could give at this moment. Do what makes you feel happy, but ensure you know why it makes you feel happy and that you're correctly feeling happy. Because some people will feel happy and about an hour later, a day later, that they realize that wasn't happiness. So ensure you know it makes you happy, that it truly makes you happy, and it doesn't go against your spirit, and it only leads you closer to yourself, to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And to your ancestors, your soul and blood ancestors. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna end this right here. And hit me up if you want a reading. Until next time, adios. Wait.